Hey guys, Crew Blind, we're back. I'm Rick.
I'm Maggie.
We're back with Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex second gig. Last time on. It's quite the mouthful.
We got a great heist episode.
We did. It was pretty great. Like most heist episodes, or like most great heists, there was a twist.
Nobody was in on except for the major, and it was hilarious.
She's gotta have her fun.
Yeah. It's always nice seeing Bato being like enraged mother hen.
It is the best.
Yep.
Almost as good as him loving the Tachikumas, which is really the best.
Yeah.
Yep, a lot of ancillary, auxiliary, a lot of like them dealing with these anti-migrant protests, but not like the main group. Like they're still putting feelers out and trying to find where this thing is centralized. But
Yeah.
It seems like the focus of the season, which
The individual 11.
I don't remember exactly when we got introduced to Laughing Man, but I was more intrigued by the Laughing Man. But I'm very curious to see how this one goes as well.
Well, I mean, they gave us so many red herrings of the Laughing Man, too. With this one, it almost seems like we could know what it is a bit clearer.
I mean, you know, the Laughing Man, it's just such a cool thing that could only exist in the cyber world for future, whereas anti-migrant stuff, I get a lot of that in the news. And it makes me sad.
I thought we were talking about the individual 11 thing, like the possible hive mind sort of stuff. It's like, we don't have that nowadays.
Have you seen Twitter?
Intuition.
You know, they don't even really need, like, crime scene photos or cameras, right? They can just use their eyes.
Yeah, but what's admissible in court?
I don't know.
We talked about this before last season, where it's like, if you can mess up memories and rejigger all those things, then like,
I mean,
what's off the table?
Computer data is normally admissible.
Yeah, but like, at what point is it like, can you verify that this hasn't been tampered with? In which case, there's always a better hacker.
Suppose so. Yeah, I did get Running Man or Total Recall? No, I can't remember.
Running Man.
Yes, Running Man vibes.
Because in the beginning, he was like, you know, in the copter, it's like, I'm not going to shoot at the people.
Yeah.
And they're-
Shoot, what's the name? The short story's named different, right? I can't remember. It's been too long since I've read it. But yeah, I got those vibes as the helicopters were flying through. Got little G-Police vibes from the PS1 as well, with the radio chatter.
Yeah.
Made me think, like, flight video game. But yeah, they're doing live fire. Well, not live fire. I guess kind of, but fire testing in around a refugee camp.
That just seems pointlessly dangerous.
I mean,
Like those buildings, they look no different on the inside of the live fire zone than they did on the outside of the live fire zone. Like those fences, they might as well just be going down the center of the same street. Like people could have been living on both sides. They looked equally so terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you remember some of the nuclear tests, right?
I wasn't there.
But yeah, it does seem needlessly provocative. And because I imagine what happened is inside of his pills, there were these nanobots or whatever they were, and they hacked into him and like used his brainstem as a conduit to get to the chopper AI. Like you said in the reaction, I don't think the fact that it was 11 of them is coincidence.
Yeah.
And like the major said at the end there, it certainly has riled tensions even further. So if you get the refugees to like rise up and act out, then the military has an excuse to kick them out or take them down, whatever the case may be.
Man.
Starting to get some Code Geass flashbacks as well. Hope it doesn't turn out that way, though.
Okay. Whatever that is.
It's an anime.
I realize that. I recognize the name. I just don't know any of your, context.
And I cannot tell you.
AI in autistic mode.
They mentioned that
refugee.
before.
Yeah. J1 pilot. Kazunta Gora?
Goda?
Gora.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. Did you hear Goda?
Yeah. I'm almost positive he said Goda.
Well, you... I don't trust you. I just don't trust you.
But yeah, he was interesting. I wonder...
How'd that happen? Did they like shoot from here and back?
Well, how did it happen, and does he choose to look like that? You know? It seems like you can alter what you look like pretty easily.
So easily. And he's like, I'm recognizable.
Maybe he's just like the people who give themselves scars, you know? To like make them look tough.
Oh yeah, you mean like...
Well, whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It seems like a horrific injury, whatever it was.
His head came to a point. It looked like the whole back of it had been like blown off. The level of that injury did not seem like we've seen people get injuries like that and definitely not stand up from them. The only exception being like the major. But that body did get reused.
True. She held onto a helicopter this time.
Yeah.
I mean, she's super
I'm not
strong.
sure how, like, you know, I'm going to use pressure this way to keep me from going this way. Like, I know when people are rock climbing, like, it looks kind of magic because they're basically using, like, opposing pressure and such, like, and grabbing this rock and pushing against them to make sure that they don't fall down and stuff and all sorts of crazy stuff. But that...
Maybe she has magnetic boots.
I thought you were going to say magnetic butt, which I would have, like, taken more than the boots thing.
Why not the boots?
The boots are like pushing against the little, and the buildings are crumbling. Like, that's always what gets me. It's like, oh yeah, her top of the line cyber body, yes, it could stop a helicopter. I am on board for this belief. But that building that's leaning like this, it looks like if Bato farted, it would fall over. The fact
maybe.
that the Tajikomas were able to run across them, I was literally thinking, like, I'm impressive. I'm amazed they're not pulling over more of them.
I remember where I lived as a kid, there was a house fairly nearby that, like, it looked like if a flake of snow fell on it, it was going to tumble. Like, just the most decrepit thing I've ever seen. And it might still be there to this day.
There was a house like that when I grew up. A great big old brick farmhouse. And it fell.
This one was not brick.
And these were like concrete, like skyscraper buildings that had received no upkeep. They were deteriorating at incredible speeds, and who knows how they got into that position in the first place. Like, it's one thing, like, barns can survive for, like, you know, hundreds of years if they have, like, animals inside them, if they're being used. But as soon as you quit using them and they, like, get all dried out and they are kind of, like, exposed to the weather changes and the temperature changes and such like that, they'll start, like, falling apart rather quickly. Like, I don't know how long they were abandoned, but I mean, we do need demolition crews. It's not like the buildings just take care of themselves. Oh, so like the military's like, we're gonna take care of this couple acres of buildings by having a live fire exercise.
I mean, that's what the fire department that my family was a part of would do. Like, people would want a building gone, so they would call the fire department and be like, use it for training and burn it down.
And here I'm thinking about, like, all of the people that got, like, horrific cancers and just terrible, like, the rest of their lives are medically ruined by working at Ground Zero at 9/11 and dealing with all of that messed up destruction. And they're just doing stuff.
I mean, you gotta train somehow.
Yes. But training at, like, just... No! Like, you're putting yourself in more danger.
Are
Especially in a society that has VR.
I don't think it's the same. I think you're putting yourself in more danger if you don't do it in a controlled circumstance. And then you just go in and save people.
So you think they should go in, make crumbling buildings fall around their ears while they're conducting live fire, or as close to it as we can, it looked live, things were
Especially
exploding.
For them, they could just get new bodies. It's
Exhibit
fine.
A, Pilot J1.
Yeah, well, I don't know what happened. Like, what happened to his ghost, you know? Was he still in there while the thing inside of him was taking control, or was he completely gone?
You know, maybe it was kind of like there was no driver, but the key was still in it.
I mean, I think at least there was an intention. Like, I mean, the key was still in it, but he died and it went back to base. Like, there was something...
But they destroyed the key, basically, with his brain.
Yeah, but if they destroy the key, I feel like the helicopter would crash, you know?
No, because, then...
The
helper AI did, kick in, but,
Yeah, they destroyed the GPS navigation. Or reset it. Because it was under, a fixed path and fixed orders.
Yeah, kind of like when a wave runner or jet ski, the rider falls off, they just go in a circle.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it was...
But they were drawing in helicopters from, a great distance away to join them around this radio tower.
Yeah, because I think the helicopters can, communicate with one another. And the ones that weren't shut off were able to be hacked from the central one.
Do you think this is the government basically doing a false flag operation, being doing something like that, prepping the playing field for that, something like that? Or do you think it is
maybe we had the government
a refugee group
involved last time at the highest level?
Maybe it's a refugee group that are setting up a way to kind of incite the masses?
I don't know. It could be a combination.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they want the same thing, but they see two different outcomes. So.
No, I think it's going to be more of a Cowboy Bebop. Shoot, what's the name of the episode? The episode with the Chess King. Where, whatever this is that's happening was put into place in a different time and place, and is now just the plan is activated and going. That's what I think's happening.
But that doesn't really make sense. I mean, just kind of for the flavor of the show. We've already seen a story kind of like that with the guy that collected gold.
We've seen governments, officials do terrible things to.
Yeah.
We've seen that too.
But it just doesn't seem quite like the right sort of story. There needs to be a lot more the human element involved, I guess. Maybe. Kind of we've seen what kind of the lone person can do with the laughing man against the government. And how that was weaponized both against the laughing man and,
maybe
used it, but
I feel like we had more ghost stuff then and more humanity driven. Maybe this is more shell stuff and it's more machinery, AI blurring the difference.
yeah, I could see that. Approaching the other side of the thin blue line or whatever. Mm-hmm. That'd be pretty cool. It's you guys are fighting each other. We're tired of getting blown up.
We have stomach aches.
Yeah. Aww.
They're very cute. And murderous.
What?
What? They shot at the helicopters.
What? Self-defense?
I suppose. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, let's get to the next. Thank you guys for watching our reaction to Ghost in the Shell standalone complex second gig. There are more reactions live over at patreon.com/blindwave, where you can watch along early access for non-live shows. You can also watch with us full length, needing your own footage. and see everything, for the good or bad.